This conference will now be recorded.
I'll call to order the Jefferson City Council, March 16, 2021, 7 p.m. Roll call, please.
Alderman Young.
Here.
Horn.
Here.
Byer. Niles. Miller.
Here.
Randall.
Here.
Lars.
Here.
Tully.
Here. Noting that we have a quorum. First item on the agenda is public participation. If anyone wishes to address the council on an issue, they may do so. We ask you to come up to the podium, state your name and address and reason for appearing, and hold your remarks to about 3 minutes. Please.
Teresa Miller, regarding the pop-up retail shops ordinance that's being proposed. I'm here to briefly discuss that new proposed ordinance. A couple things for clarification. I'd like to call out that a pop-up retail shop is not limited to crafters and makers. Even a retailer such as Kohl's could try out pop-up retail for a new clothing line in a test market outside of one of their stores. They could look to a short-term lease as any city of interest and choose a suitable option. This would be similar even with a restaurant or any other type of business for that matter. What we are doing is providing a short-term lease for crafters to sell the things that they make in a business storefront. While they may be pop-up in nature, we align more with a maker's market, as these sellers are just simply looking for an opportunity to sell their items. They're not doing test marketing like true pop-up retail. By way of what we are doing in our historic downtown storefronts, we would like the committee to revisit exemption for our sellers before implementing the proposed ordinance for 2 reasons. During a previous city council meeting, we had discussed exemption because we are businesses and landlords of our downtown storefronts. At one point, I was asked if we had a lease with our sellers. It was stated by me that a lease was not present. However, we had a policies and procedures contract. What I have learned is that even though I didn't believe this was a lease, it actually is a lease, and here's why. According to Wisconsin State Legislature, a lease is an agreement, whether it's oral, can be verbal or written, for transfer of possession of real property or both real and personal property for a definite period of time. Even if I believed the contract we were using wasn't a lease, the reality is it had all the characteristics. Therefore, it is a lease defined by the Wisconsin State Legislature. My second point supporting exemption, also according to Wisconsin State Legislature, is around permits. According to the legislature, neither the City Council, nor the City Plan Commission, nor the City Plan Committee of the City Council, nor the Board of Appeals may condition or withhold approval of a permit under this section based upon the property owner entering into a contract or discontinuing, modifying, extending, or renewing a contract with a third party under which the third party is engaging in lawful use of the property. Our tenants are engaging in lawful use of our property, and the transient merchant permits condition our leases in several ways. Fees to the city, background checks, a 7-day lead time to obtain the permit, and the fact that one is being required at all. Also, according to Wisconsin State Legislature, if there is a perceived conflict in policy between city and state, state policy is what applies. For these reasons, we're asking the committee to have a discussion around exemption and move the proposed pop-up retail shops ordinance. Thank you for your consideration and all the attention you've given around the proposed ordinance. I do have these I can share because I know that was a lot. My only remaining question revolves around what the follow-up plan will be for this reconsideration. So I will go ahead, and whoever would like a copy.
Okay, thank you, Teresa.
Absolutely.
Anyone else wishing to address the council? Hearing none. We'll then move on to number 3.
I can only hand these out to all of them. Is that true?
I don't need one.
We have a couple more out there if either of you need them.
The ordinance
Do you need one?
number 3-21, an ordinance amending state statute 270-3 of the Jefferson Municipal Code to be introduced for its second reading by Alderman Young.
Thank you, Mr. Council President, council members, citizens of Jefferson. Whereas the city of Jefferson has previously enacted an ordinance that regulates the business practices of transient merchants within the legal boundaries of the city of Jefferson, and whereas questions have been raised as to what constitutes a transient merchant, and whereas the Common Council of the city of Jefferson wishes to resolve these questions. Now, therefore, the Common Council does hereby ordain as follows. Section 1, State Statute 270-3, Part B, is amended to include the following definition: pop-up retail shop. A retail enterprise that is open temporarily to take advantage of certain trends or seasonal holiday demands. Products offered for sale generally include handcrafted or art-related items, apparel, toys, or other similar merchandise. Not included are the sale of fermented beverages, malt beverages, intoxicating liquor, wine, firearms, bows, or weapons. Section 2 of Section 20 State Statutes -3 Part B hereby created to amend the definition of the term transient merchant. Transient merchant, any individual who engages in the retail sale of merchandise at any place within the legal boundaries of the city of Jefferson, Wisconsin, temporarily, and who does not intend to become and does not become a permanent merchant of such place. For purpose of this section, sale of merchandise also includes a sale of which the personal services rendered upon or in connection with the merchandise sale constitutes the greatest part of the value for the price received. Included in this definition are mobile desert establishment, mobile food establishment, pop-up retail shops, and any other arrangements in which merchandise owned by a third party are sold at a local trade area owned or controlled by a permanent merchant. Section 3 of State Statute 270-3, Part D3 is hereby amended to read as follows. At the time the registration is returned, a fee shall be paid by the applicant to the clerk treasurer to cover the cost of processing registration. For one sale event not exceeding 3 consecutive days, the initial fee shall be $15 for one event per year only. For all other sale events, the initial fee shall be $50. The Common Council may adjust said fees on an annual basis. All permits issued under this chapter shall expire on December 31st at 11:59 p.m. with no proration or reduction of the fee allowed. Section 4. Except as stated herein, all other provisions of State Statute 270-3 are hereby affirmed and shall be in full force and effect. Section 5. This ordinance shall be effective on the date after its enactment and publication of this ordinance as required by law. I would so move.
The 270-3 is a local ordinance. It's not a state statute.
I'm sorry, I was informed that it was, that symbol was state statute.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
Okay, it's been moved to accept ordinance number 3-21. This is the second reading. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Horn. So it's been moved and seconded. Discussion.
I'd like some clarification on that $50 for the annual. Is that just, I mean, can they, if they pay the $50 for an annual thing, can they have as many events as they want within that year? I mean, it's like every, so if they want to do it every day, every weekend, it's $50, so.
Theoretically, it could be for a full year.
Anybody else?
Yeah, would this include, would this include the flea market at the county fairgrounds?
I'm trying to think, that may be exempt. I know that sale of agricultural products is exempt from this.
No, that's not necessarily agricultural.
No, I know, I'm just.
I'm just thinking, you know,
I'm
the
just thinking.
flea market,
Is that county property?
Yes.
Fairgrounds, it's county property.
The county fairgrounds. So it is not.
That would be exempt then.
that would be exempt. Cattle fair, things like that, all exempt?
If it's at the county property.
No, no, if it's downtown,
No, it would be exempt.
it will not be.
No.
Unless it's a sponsored activity by a nonprofit.
Yeah, there is a list of exemptions.
Anything else? Hearing none. We're going to vote on ordinance number 3-21. If you're in favor of the ordinance, please say aye as a man calls your name. If you're opposed, say no.
Alderman Horn.
Aye.
Alderman Miller.
No,
Randall.
Aye.
Lars.
Aye.
Tully.
Aye.
Young.
Aye.
Vote is 5-1, the motion passes. Ordinance 3-21 passes. Resolution number 88, the consent agenda, Alderman Lars.
Thank you, President Randall, all council members, citizens of Jefferson. City of Jefferson Resolution number 88, be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Jefferson, Wisconsin, that the consent agenda for March 16, 2021 is hereby adopted. A vouchers payable for March 2021 in the amount of $207,949, and February manuals in the amount of $383,995. Payroll summary for March 12, 2021 in the amount of $162,776. B, council minutes for March 2nd, 2021 of the Common Council. And C, license that are approved by a regulatory committee. There was one operator's license for Samantha C's Kirby's Bar. And then there was two, there was agent change for Rock Bottoms Express, Jessica Kraus. So moved.
It's been moved, this resolution number 88 has been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Young. So it's been moved and seconded. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor of resolution number 88, please say aye as clerk calls your name. No if you're opposed.
Alderman Miller.
aye,
Randall.
Aye.
Lars.
Aye.
Tully.
Aye.
Young.
Aye.
Horn.
Aye.
It's unanimous vote. Resolution number 8 passes. Item 5 on the agenda, resolution number 89. Alderman Horn.
Thank you, Council President, council members, and citizens of Jefferson. City of Jefferson Resolution number 89, whereas the City of Jefferson intends to impose a common plan of restrictions and covenants and the declaration with respect to the plat of Meadow Springs subdivision for the mutual benefit of the present and future owners of lots of said plat, the lots. Whereas the general purpose of the restrictions and covenants is to, one, promote the harmonious development of the subdivision while protecting the natural beauty and quality of the environment. Two, help ensure that the subdivision will become and remain an attractive community. Three, guard against the erection of poorly designed or poorly proportional structures. Four, require harmonious use of building materials. Five, promote the highest, best development of the subdivision. Six, require the erection of structures in appropriate locations on building sites. Seven, in compliance with the municipal codes and ordinances. Eight, provide for the expansion of the subdivision consistent with the declaration. And whereas the city council has reviewed restrictions and protective covenants developed for the plat of the Meadow Springs subdivision by the city staff, and now therefore be resolved by the city council of the city of Jefferson, Wisconsin, that it herein approves and adopts the declaration of covenants and restrictions for the plat of the Meadows subdivision and authorizes the city administrator to execute said declaration on behalf of the city of Jefferson. Be it further resolved that the city administrator is authorized to record this declaration with the Jefferson County Register of Deeds following the approval and recording of the final plat of the Meadow subdivision. I so move.
It's been moved to accept resolution number 89. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Tully. It's been moved and seconded to adopt the resolution approving restrictions and protective covenants for the Meadow subdivision. Are there any questions, comments? Hearing none. All in favor of resolution number 89, please say aye as Amanda calls your name and vote your votes.
Alderman Miller.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye.
Lars.
Aye.
Tully.
Aye.
Young.
Aye.
Horn.
Aye.
4 to 6, nothing. It's unanimous. Resolution number 89 is accepted. Resolution number 90, Alderman Miller.
Thank you, Council President, council members, and citizens. City of Jefferson Resolution number 90. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Jefferson, Wisconsin, that it herein disallows and denies a claim brought by Reggie Coleman pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 893.80 and directs the city clerk to provide written notice to the claimant of these actions. I so move.
Resolution number 90 has been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Horn. Been moved and seconded to adopt resolution number 90, denying or disallowing a claim brought pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 893.80. Are there any questions, comments? Hearing none. All in favor of resolution number 90, please say aye as Amanda calls your name and vote your vote.
Alderman Lars.
Aye.
Tully.
Aye.
Young.
Aye.
Horn.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye. 6 to nothing. We stand approved unanimously. Resolution number 91. Alderman Tully.
Thank you, Council President Brandel. City of Jefferson, resolution number 91, authorizing bids for the Jefferson Fire Department renovation project. Whereas the City of Jefferson entered in a construction manager as constructor agreement with Moss Brothers Construction, Inc., Moss Brothers, to provide construction-related services for the Jefferson Fire Department renovation project, and whereas Moss Brothers prepared bidding specifications and bid documents for the project and advertised the project in conformance with the requirements of Wisconsin statutes regulating public project bidding. And whereas Moss Brothers and the City of Jefferson conducted a public bid opening for the project at the Jefferson City Hall on February 19th, 2021. And whereas the bidding results are summarized in Exhibit Number 1, which is attached and made part of this resolution. And whereas the total cost for the project has been updated to reflect the results of the above referenced bid opening for the project and is summarized as Exhibit Number 2, which is attached and made part of this resolution. And now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Jefferson, Wisconsin, that it herein approves and authorizes the award of construction bids as summarized in Exhibit Number 1 in the amount of $431,656 plus bid alternate number 1 at a cost of $5,300 for a total bid award of $436,956. And be it further resolved by the City Council that based on the results of bidding, design, and other soft costs expended to date and project contingency, it herein establishes and approves an overall budget for the project in the amount of $586,234.12. I would so move.
Resolution number 91 has been moved by Mr. Tully. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Lars. It's been moved and seconded to adopt resolution number 91, authorizing bids for the fire station renovation project. Any questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor of resolution number 91, please say aye as Amanda calls your name and vote your vote.
Alderman Young.
Aye.
Horn.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye.
Lars.
Aye.
Tully.
Aye.
4 to 6 to nothing. It's unanimous. Thank you. And number 8, I would entertain a motion to adjourn to closed session pursuant to sections 19.85, 1E of the Wisconsin State Statutes to discuss business prospects.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Horn, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Lars. Moved and seconded to adjourn to a closed session. All in favor, please say aye as the man who calls your name, and if you're opposed.
Alderman Horn.
Aye.
Miller. Randall.
Aye.
Lars. Tully.
Aye.
Young.
Unanimous, we will adjourn to a closed session.